we want to make sure that our residents are prepared. If we get a significant amount of rain over a short period of time, that often causes challenges with our storm sewer system. So we're asking people to really be aware of the forecasts, pay attention to what is happening with the weather. It's a good idea, if you do sometimes get backups in your basement, to get things up off the floor. Make sure that the catch basins in front of your house or along your street are cleared. That will help with getting the water drained. And then, of course, as you're driving, if you're out driving in this, if you encounter water in the roadway, we really advise you to steer clear. It's very easy to get in and think that you can drive through and then find that that water level is too high. I know that some people like to laugh at me when I talk about this, but as the person who does the laundry for our family, I got all the laundry done today. Anything you can do to help lighten the load into the water system if we do have heavy rain, we really appreciate, because we're trying to keep those stormwater and storm sewers clear so that we can take that capacity of water if we get heavy rain. Also making sure that your downspouts and your gutters are cleared. It's hot today, but there's still plenty of time before the sun goes down to really just look around and make sure that you're ready, and that if we get that heavy rain, if we get heavy wind, bringing in your patio furniture, that sort of thing, to just get ready for what's going to happen. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Commissioner of our Water Department, talk a little bit more about their preparation.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Joe Coffey. I'm the Water Commissioner. I just want to reinforce a couple of the key points the Mayor made about keeping catch basins clear. I think another element, too, if folks have had some experience with basement backups or flooding in the past on these heavy rain events, obviously be prepared for that again and take your valuable materials off the floor. The one thing the Mayor talked about as well, when we have heavy rains, a lot of times folks will forget to clear the area out where the downspouts are. Try to clear that out and get the water flowing as far away from the basement as possible. That will also help. For us tomorrow, we're hoping that it's going to be, if it's going to be a lot of rain, it's going to be over a longer duration. Right now, the current forecast shows a heavier rain starting at about 3 o'clock tomorrow and extending in through Monday into Tuesday morning. From our perspective, the longer duration when we have these heavier events, the little bit better it is for our residents. A couple other items. We'll have 2 pieces of equipment out tomorrow starting at around 3 o'clock. We'll have 2 sewer jets out tomorrow to help clear any blockages or backups if they occur. And we encourage folks, if they have a problem, to call the Water Department 24-hour number. That's 518-434-5322. So at this point, we're kind of keeping our fingers crossed. We'll have a lot of our folks will be on standby, ready to come in if we need them. Sergio?
Yes. Thank you.
DGS Commissioner.
Thank you, everyone. We are monitoring, like everybody else, the weather. We don't know what we're getting until a few hours before the storm hits. We're asking anyone, as Commissioner Coffey has said, the peak of the storm is supposed to be coming in around 3 o'clock as of right now, weather reports. But it's going to start raining around 11 o'clock. So we ask, if you have to do anything out on the road, do it early in the morning while the rain. We ask you not to be on the road at the peak of the storm. Flash flooding may be an issue where it's dangerous. We ask you to also charge your phone tonight. Light power might go down. A tree might come down and take power out. We have about 30 pieces of equipment out tomorrow morning. We expect them to be here ready to go at 7 a.m. to prep for the storm. We have a full forestry crew out in case a tree comes down. We also have a road division out in case we need to assist the water department, police, and fire. Our priority will be to keep the streets open for a fire engine and a police car. Our secondary priority is to assist the water department with the flooding. But again, we ask everyone to kind of use some common sense, get out early, do some shopping today, as the mayor pointed out, do some laundry tonight, and tomorrow morning just keep it as minimal as possible. I thank everyone. Thank you. I want to turn it over to the fire chief. You have anything?
Sure. I'm Joe Gregory. I'm the Chief of Department for the City of Albany Fire Department. Just to reiterate what the Water Commissioner and the DGS Commissioner had mentioned, if you know the numbers, we ask that you dial direct to water if you have issues. Keep 911 a priority for emergency calls. That will tremendously help our system and not overload our system. And also for downed power lines, if you notice downed power lines, just report them and stay clear of them. And the fire department will respond and take appropriate measures. We are in constant contact with our partners at National Grid, as well as other emergency management agencies. So we're prepared for this event. So at that point, I'll turn it over to Chief Hawkins.
Thank you. So really just two things from the police department. First, please watch out for your neighbors. We have some vulnerable members of our population, and we have community service officers who will be out and about over the next couple of days, and they can assist those vulnerable people in our community. So if you know of any people who are vulnerable or who may be having some problems throughout this storm, call the police department's non-emergency line so we can have some community service officers out there to assist them. We'll have extra officers out on the road, and please, if you see standing water in the roadway and you're unsure if this water is too high, just assume that it is and take an alternate route. What we see oftentimes during storms like this is cars that get stalled in water that is too high, and we have to divert resources in order to assist those people. So watch for those, and otherwise be safe. Thank you.
I just want to add one thing based on what Chief Hawkins just said about standing water, particularly in the intersections. In a lot of cases, there will be a sewer manhole in that location. If there is standing water, it's a potential that that manhole cover may have floated off. Do not walk in those areas of standing water because you never know what's going to be in front of you. You could have an open manhole, and that's not a good place to be. So I just want to caution folks that that's something to be very cautious about.
So to reiterate, common sense, we could be in for a long period of rain, being prepared in case the power goes out, being prepared for your travel plans. It's just really critically important. We want to keep everybody safe. We want to make sure that we're able to respond to real emergencies, to be able to, again, get firefighters where they need to be and police officers where they need to be. And so we're just asking for everyone's cooperation. We are in constant communication, as the fire chief said, with the emergency management at the county level, which then reports up to the state level. We're getting regular updates from our partners at the state and at the county level to ensure that we're coordinating our efforts and coordinating that preparedness. Happy to take any questions. Yeah, I mean, I'll let Commissioner Coffey talk a little bit about that, but there certainly are areas. Hackett Boulevard is one of them, but you want to talk about where we often have issues?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. Hackett Boulevard down near Crown Terrace is one of our kind of pinch points that we tend to get some standing water, and that's an area that it will come up, and if it comes up very quickly. And that's a case where we're really concerned about folks trying to drive through standing water, particularly at that location. We have a couple other areas. These are old. Hackett Boulevard used to be an area, the tributary of the Beaver Creek. Other parts of Elbron Place, the little low part of Elbron going into Washington Park, that's another area. Western Avenue up near Homestead, Lenox, Brookline, that area tends to potentially pond water as well. Those are the areas that we generally will see some ponding water soon, early, when that happens. We'll have, in a situation like this, we'll get two of our sewer jet trucks. So if folks are calling in, sometimes they'll report a backup. And a lot of what we'll do, we'll go out, we'll check our main sewers to see if they're flowing. If they're flowing, that means the individual may have a backup that's in their own plumbing. If there's a backup in the main system, we can jet them out and get the water moving. So we'll have two pieces of equipment out tomorrow, probably starting about 3 in the afternoon.
Another area where we sometimes do have heavy water is in the downtown area, Sheridan Avenue. You know, that's an area where we've seen flooding. The parking lot that is there right on Pearl Street in Sheridan it tends to flood. And I just want to reiterate what the commissioner said. Stay out of the water. We have sometimes had situations where we've seen college kids inner tubing on that water. It is combined sewer overflow. So that's all that I'll say about that.
A couple of things that we've done too to help with potential flooding. When we have a forecast anticipating 3, 4, 5 inches of rain, we will actively start lowering the level of the 6-mile waterworks, Rensselaer Lake. We'll draw that level down, because if that goes up and starts getting real high, that's the body of water that will flood the Patroon Creek and under Central Avenue, or the rail bridge out on the border of the town of Colony. So by lowering 6 Mile, that'll help diminish that level. We also have an OPTI kind of a computer system to help us manage our combined sewer system. So we've already lowered Washington Park Lake, and we'll try to keep that lake level down as well. That'll help with some downstream flood abatement as well.
What are you doing to try to avoid having raw sewage released?
Well, again, as the mayor points out, we have a combined sewer system. So part of the things that we've done for mitigation over the past 7 or 8 years have been the projects like the projects at Washington Park Lake, where we've been doing a lot of stormwater retention, stormwater separation upstream on the Beaver Creek system. The large project we have right now in Lincoln Park ultimately is hoping to get more and more of that combined sewage overflow from out of the Hudson River. So we've been working with a lot of our capital projects over the past 8 years to do more stormwater management to keep that excess water from going into the combined sewer right away, and that puts a lot, which would put a lot of added pressure on the sewer backups and the sewer surcharging. And I have to tell you, we've seen a lot less of that over the past couple of years as we've been doing more of those projects. But that is not something that's going to happen, overnight and be 100% mitigated. We've got projects like that planned for the next 5 to 10 years.
That's going to be communicated through OEM. So
You
maybe
want to talk a
Chief.
little bit about the system?
Yeah, we have deployed several members to the urban search and rescue team. The State Office of Fire Prevention and Control has requested members from the Albany Fire Department as well as other members from the area that are activated. So the members are deployed and on standby right now. So and again, as the mayor mentioned, we're in constant contact with our county Office of Emergency Management as well as the state OEM and our partners at National Grid. So we have a good line of communication open, and we can utilize any resources that are available also.
How many members do you have in the states deployed right now with the search and rescue team?
Oh, we have 3 right now that have been deployed. They're on the Swiftwater Rescue Team. So they're on standby in the event of flooding.
Do you know where they are?
They have been, I believe they're up in the Guilderland site right now, which is the main headquarters, and they'll be deployed as needed. So I think when as the storm comes through, they'll push them out as needed.
We spoke to a few residents in Albany who were concerned with the possibility of downed trees from high winds. Is that something that the city is concerned about, as well as flooding?
Well, again, it depends on the storm. That's really dictated to the storm. We have been seeing a lot less down trees as we've been aggressively pursuing trees throughout the city. I remember 3 or 4 years ago when we had some spurs that knocked down trees in several areas of town, where today we're doing our due diligence with trees. But when a tree comes down, it's an issue that we need to address, and we ask people to call either the police department. That would be an emergency if somebody's trapped or can't get out, or just call the DGS number 43428 city, and that would assist you. But the winds and the rain is going to make the canopy wet, and when the canopy is wet, puts a lot of weight on the tree. And you know, and I always say that picture as your leaves being sails that will push the tree either way, whatever wind is going. So it really can't be predicted. It's just we gotta wait and see when the storm happens. But we will have the full forestry crew on reserve here at 7 a.m. Even though they'll be sharpening their tools, they'll be getting ready to assist other departments. All of our supervisors will have equipment that could take down, that could chop a tree branch, a sizable tree branch. And also we have several contractors on standby, where in case that we need it, we can recall on them for resources. So wind and rain are not the good friends of trees, and when that happens, we will be out there.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah. Don't call me, I'll call you. As they say,